Oui.
Since now I handle the MSME department here, so I would like to mention that there are specific schemes for the MSME firms in the ITS space and also for electronic manufacturing. And there is a scheme called NEETS, which aims at new entrepreneurs. It provides subsidy for capital investment in plant and machinery up to a certain limit. So you can get to know the details of these schemes and avail these schemes in your area. There's a stall that we have here in the MSME pavilion, where you can go and have a look at the screen where we have displayed all these schemes. You can talk to our people there. You can find out more about how they can help you.
So I just want to add one thing. From a mate perspective, we realized that, and to your question, I think it's a fantastic question. There's a lot of things that's provided by the government of India, I'm sure the government of Tamil Nadu, to enable MSME and SME industries. I think that the knowledge of of those schemes and policies is actually very, very limited. People who actually need to use them don't know about it. So we actually built a SME chapter inside MATE, and we worked with Deity. We did a series of events across the country in many states where we just went and just said what all opportunities are available. And I can tell you that it's a very impressive list. Somebody who really has an intent, has the basic appetite, of course, some risk, some entrepreneurship capability. I think there is a lot of enabling policies available. And I think it's obviously the job of the industry association as well as the government to actually go and popularize it and talk more about it.
I think
Add that we had road shows in all the districts in the state just last month, where you explain all the schemes that we have for the MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises. So please take advantage of such efforts by our department to really reach out to the MSMEs, and you can avail the subsidy and other schemes from our department.
And Mr. Ramachandran, in response to your question, just a few weeks ago, we opened a maker lab in Bangalore, and that has, we've given basically physical space, validation equipment, and other kinds of hardware as whatever we use inside Intel, we are making that available to innovators and entrepreneurs, essentially small startups, who can come in and use that lab. And we did that because we see it as an opportunity for a two-way learning process. It exposes us to the startup activity that is happening in Bangalore, and it enables the small-scale entrepreneurs to get access to hardware that may be difficult to get to. So that is one way where we are trying to understand what the ecosystem has to offer us.
I think as a general thumb rule, I think in this industry is predominantly scale driven. So you need that economies of scale. So typically at your OEM or even your tier one level, it's large scale manufacturing. But as you come down the tiers, you definitely have opportunities for MSMEs. And over the last 10 years, us building the ecosystem here, we've definitely seen our share of building MSMEs and SMEs in the space. Definitely a lot of opportunities. If you look at the roadmap I was presenting, there are certain categories there which can essentially qualify in the MSME space. But of course, you have to be this industry, the term I use is clock speed. The clock speed is very fast. It is about 10 times faster than the automotive industry, maybe even more. So I think you have to be ready for that. You do need to have the ability to take an element of risk. Of course, if you're a businessman, you have to take risk, but I think the clock speed is very quick. So you cannot amortize. The amortization period is very short. So you need to be very, very aware before you jump into this. But definitely there are opportunities.
Sir, you wanted to ask no. My name is Ramachandran. Yeah, I know. Ramachandran. So I didn't know you said so you're partial to me because the name, I guess. Just one question to Mr. Rajendra Kumar and maybe the panelists. So we talked about this $400 billion imports, or $300 billion imports. And to me, we are now talking about all the people who are here are going to manufacture products which are really consumer driven. it will be delivered to the consumer, but all their inputs will continue to be imported. So in 2020 or 2025, we may make $500 billion worth of equipment in India, but you will still import $300 billion worth of components. Now, if you want to have a net import-export, then you have to export $600 billion. DOE, have they really gone into this, have a perspective plan, to have a, study this and to say how to build the component industry here? I mean, honestly, based on our experience, we don't see such plan. DOE is very happy to give out today incentives. That's fine, but incentives will be utilized by people when they are willing to invest. And we don't see on the ground big component investments, without which 10 years hence, you will continue to import beyond the oil bill in any case.
Yeah, I think that's a very excellent point. I think this is very relevant in today's context when we are talking about net zero imports by 2020. The idea is that if you see today, the value added in electronic manufacturing is not more than 20%. That's very, very low. That has to change if we have to achieve the goal of net zero import by 2020 by any means. So that has to change. We have to develop an ecosystem for component manufacturing as well, apart from the overall products. So both have to come together so that the goal of balancing imports and exports is achieved in the next 5 years. So the schemes are aimed at encouraging the entire ecosystem. That's why all the efforts at tariff rationalization, where we have removed the inverted duty structure on the imports of the components. So now it is beneficial to manufacture in India compared to importing the finished products from outside. So that's what we are trying to encourage, and I hope that the stakeholders present here will take this efforts forward to really come forward with manufacturing units in India.
So the component import duties are still zero. It's only the set-top box and phone duties. So there is no incentive to make components in India, unless
earlier it was a disincentive. So now that has been removed. So at least it is a level playing field.
Still be a disincentive, because you will have EMS companies, you will have all this, but all the components will be imported. So you will continue to have the import drainage.
So Mr. Ramachandran, the roadmap which I presented, we are looking at component categories there. So all those components which I listed there, the incentives will be removed. So, and this is how we're going to build this supply chain tier by tier, components. Absolutely.
No, but you will still have, central government telling you that it's IT agreement. Sorry.
No, this is supported by the central government. So.
Okay, shall we finish off? Because looking at the strength of the audience and their enthusiasm, I think none of us might want to wind up. But then I think there's tea waiting outside, and we'll thank all the panelists for an excellent presentation and for an excellent discussion and a Q&A session. I think each of them made very valuable, very insightful points. And we'll take back a lot of learning, I'm sure. Like me, all of you will take back a lot of learning from this session. And I hope the Foxcons of the world, the Deltas of the world, and of course the Dells and everyone else will now look at investing more and more in Tamil Nadu, and that we will go back much more rich in this, after this global investors meet, surely in terms of investment. So thank you all once again. Let's give them all a big hand.
We have a memento from the government. We just want to give it to all the speakers. Thank you for your time. Please. Group photograph.